You know, what would make you even meaner is if you shaved your head and had a beard.
Oh, I'm in 100%. Why don't we all take some time off? Battlefield to the Boardroom with Philip Folsom and Garth Massey. I don't get to call myself Colonel Massey today because I'm out of regs. I went on vacation.
Oh, man.
Dude, I took my family, sans the children who are too old and grown, and went on a week-long vacation. And I checked out on social media when I left. And here on the Battlefield to the Boardroom, I thought maybe today we would talk about the value of disconnecting, because holy smokes, did I disconnect? And I know I got to get rid of my my fishing beard, but it's kind of fun, and it you forget the power of clicking off. So long story short, we went down, we got a place at the bottom of the Baja California, Baja, Mexico, and little town of La Paz. There's a place called the Sea of Cortez. So it's on the inland side of Baja, and then it's in the side of this Sea of Cortez. So it's very flat, very smooth, great fishing, lots of coral reefs, sea lions, whales, dolphins, all kinds of stuff. And we went to like a little resort condo, just sort of isolated and quiet. But then we got on a boat, and we took the family out on a boat for 4 days. And on the boat, there's no service. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no nothing. And we 100% completely disconnected. And so I thought today we could talk a little bit about the power of shutting it down, because it was almost like a shock to the system not to have something jacked in, especially in our high news tempo, high like fear, high everything's important, everything is whatever. So on that topic, Philip, as always, thanks for joining me. I'm sorry we missed a week, but it is great to see you again.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. What do you think? What's your number one tip on the value of disconnecting?
Hey, well, the first one, I'd like to spin you a little metaphor / analogy, which occurred to me recently, and that is the idea of motor oil and the function of it and what it looks like when you first put it in your engine. It's translucent, gold, clean. It's idealistic, and it's able to fulfill its function, which is to mitigate stress, trauma, debris, and the violence that happens in an engine. That's what motor oil does. It lubricates everything. And then obviously, an engine is a violent place. Living in the corporate world, and America now is a violent place. And so what happens when engine oil has done its work for too long without a break, it takes on a sludge-like, opaque, and gritty type of substance, and it can't do its job anymore. And I think that's, for me, when I start to feel burnout. Burnout means you need to change your oil, and what that requires is as a tactical pause. Like you didn't get to do work and answer social media and emails. For you to change your oil on the boat is, hey, you have to put that car up on the lift, and you need to go take time out to the things I'm doing and then swap that oil out. So that's my kind of first analogy with that has struck me over the last couple of weeks, is change your oil.
That's a good one, because that stuff, I mean, all it does is collect the junk, which is good because it's pulling it away from the working parts. But I like that analogy. Well, okay, so my number one on this one is to be intentional about it. So you can stumble into some downtime, like your battery can die, you can whatever. But I'm big on environment shaping. I'm big in setting up your space, and whether you're setting the culture for the organization, you're setting your morning routine to shape your day, you're setting your workout schedule so that you have a plan. Create a plan. And I'm not the most disciplined of people, and I'm not the super driven guy. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff. But I do a lot of stuff not because I wake up and say, oh my goodness, it's 4:22, now it's time for push-ups. I do it because I shape my environment, where I wake up and my shoes and my shirt and my running shorts are sitting there on the floor. And I can choose to stumble over them and skip the day, but more often than not, I go. So if you're going to disconnect, and when you disconnect, which you absolutely 100% should, be intentional. This was the first time in over a decade that I went on a vacation without my laptop. Bring it. And one, it was marvelous because it was so much lighter. I didn't have cables. I didn't have a laptop. I didn't need it. I had a phone. I did look up stuff when we had Wi-Fi at the condo, but never anywhere else. And then two, we knew we were going out to a place with no Wi-Fi, no cell service. So I just turned it all off. I turned cellular off, turned everything off. The only thing I used my phone for 4 days was pictures and videos. And it was fantastic. And so knowing that I had shaped an environment where I couldn't do it, even if I wanted to, made all the difference.
Right.
Because then I never got to that place where I had to emotionally struggle over like, no, don't turn it on. Like it just wasn't an option. So be intentional in your downtime and make sure that you're doing it on purpose.
And I don't remember which one of the Stoic philosophers said, if you don't make time for your health, then you'll make time for your illness. So if you're not intentional about downtime, then it will arrive in a way that you don't want it to arrive.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that right now. Like if you are unhealthy, if you haven't invested in eating well and kicking sugar and your body is not primed to keep you around. Take care of you. Yeah.
Hey, so kind of building off that analogy, my second one would be the downtime is not just related to your physical, right, or psychological health. There's going to be a vitality that exists in all the different aspects of our life. So I think it's true with our career. At some point we have today, tactical pause. Am I fulfilled? Am I aligned? Am I passionate? And if we're not aware to, able to have that moment of clarity or platform or pivot, then, we're getting sucked downstream and heading to sludge land. Same thing with relationships. If we don't, like you said, intentionally take time to be able to, date our partners, right? Or go off with the kids, it won't happen, right? Unless it's done in a really traumatic way, which is almost an intervention capacity, which none of us really want. So this is a holistic conversation. It's about health. It's about career, spiritual practice, relationships. This is across the world of building in those moments where we can recalibrate and reclaim that vitality that I think is what the goal is, right? Joseph Campbell said, the influence of a vital person vitalizes. So everyone around you is better now because of what you did for yourself. Yeah.
Well, and then, that's my number two, frankly, is you start caring about different things. And if you are revitalized and you're revitalizing the people around you, like you start caring about different stuff. When we're plugged in, we care about the things that we hear and see. Like we have a lot of injects coming in. We have media, we have, podcasts, we have, these video shows. There's a ton of things influencing who we are and what we should be thinking about. I think what you're going to start seeing across the country is this burnout in causes. It's not that none of the causes aren't worthy, but, there are horrible things going on in every country around the world. And we have fixated on one or two things as a nation and said, oh my gosh, if we don't fix this, the end is nigh. And it's almost to the exclusion of some things that are even worse or more real. And that is very dangerous. You're being told what you should care about. You're being told what you have to work on and work towards. But when you unplug, you get a chance to really think about like, well, what's important to me? What's important to my family? What's important to the way I want to be and who I want to be? So when we were out there, I did bring a journal. I got my Jarhead journal. If you guys haven't checked them out, you should. But I got my Jarhead journal and I would sit out on the deck and I would write. And in the process of writing, what we do is we take these amorphous, big, hairy ideas and we dial them down. We get them down to a place where we actually start to understand what we really think and more importantly, what we're working towards. So if you are constantly talking about what you don't want or what you're working against, you don't shape your actual end goal. And in the military, you can protect against all sorts of attacks, but if you don't know what the mission is, you're just spinning your wheels. You're battery fire and counter battery fire and patrolling and ambushes, and you're going back and forth, but you're not achieving any objectives. You're not doing anything. So when you have a chance to think about different things, spend that time thinking about what's really important, and how do I want to be involved, and how do I want to share my time, and who do I want to be around? And, the longer we went at sea, the easier it was to say, heck yeah, pick up the snorkel. Let's go, buddy. And, just jump back in the water with a kid because they wanted to see another fish. And those were powerful moments because there was nothing else drawing me out of the world I was trying to create into a world where I have to be worried about what's going on in, West Virginia or, some other place that or even outside the country. Like, I didn't have that told to me. And so I got to focus very intently and I was very present with the people I was there with, which was really, really cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we waxed on poetically today, but that is your battlefield to the boardroom. And
we got a fun thing going this Saturday, which is really kind of two little pieces of our communities coming together, which is super cool.
Yeah, the Commandready group and the Four Kings are coming together on Saturday morning. We're going down to Venice Beach because we live in California. And we actually meet with a young man that I ran through some training programs years ago, started his own company, and he does a mobile gym. And so what we've got is a bunch of men who are meeting down at the beach Saturday morning. We're going to work out. He's going to put out the bars, the benches, the slam balls, the hurdles, the ropes, the tires.
Giant tires.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And we just power through it. And it's good. Both of us have these groups, and these groups, one of the key elements to any accountability group you make or join, you have to have a fitness routine that you hold each other accountable for. And so we live in different parts of the town, but we'll come together once a month and bring our groups together. And this Saturday, it's going to be at a beach. And when we're done, we're going to sugar cookie you, take you down to the water, roll you around in the sand a little bit. Yeah. And then you just scratch for the rest of the day. So
hey, K4 is my men's group. It's k4men.com. Commandready, the program. Commandready.com.
Just commandready.com. We got all kinds of stuff. We got online training. We got in-person training. We got one-on-one training. I mean, look, if you want to get better, you have to create the process and you have to shape the environment. That's it. It's not fancy editing, and it's not bells and whistles and dancing on boats. It's one day you're going to wake up and say, I need to take charge of some of this. And I need to set up my environment so I stop, having that bowl of ice cream on my belly like an otter every night, and do something towards a purpose. K4 helps you define your purpose. The Commandready programs define your purpose. The Forged program, holy cow, if you can get through it, you have to have 4 people. It takes 12 weeks, but it's a daily routine of just really trying to dial down into what you believe. So check out both. Go to Phil's website, go to my website, follow us, hit like, share. And then, I don't know, we'll take votes, but I think I'm shaving this thing. I got to go back down to the base here soon.
Cool. Intentionally take time off.
Take time off. See
All
ya.
right, brother.